Hi everyone, I am very excited to have downloaded this lovely free page from the lovely Rita Berman. This is, as she says here, drawn with love to celebrate the colouring book release. This is for Meine Reise Durch Asien, and it comes out on the 26th of August. Now, she's released this sort of freebie. These pictures aren't in the book, I don't think. I haven't seen a flip through, but when she did this for her Europa book, the pictures weren't in the book. And what that means is that if you don't save this PDF or download it now, you won't get it, because what Rita does is as soon as the book's released, she cancels the page where this is available from. So I have included the link in my description of the video, so you can go there and grab it. You can save the PDF, which means you can print it lots of times, or you can just print it off. So that's really cool. Just a quick word about the paper. I don't use normal printer paper. Some people do and they find that fine. I've used some which is just noticed it's got some splodges on from the printer, but never mind. This is Bristol board. I'll leave a link in the description as well, but do be careful. It's quite thick. It's like a card, and it can stick in some printers. You need to make sure you find out from your manufacturer's instructions or website, whatever, what size your printer can take, because if it's too big it will jam up in the printer. It will not only ruin your paper, but it could ruin the printer, so be really careful. This is a very smooth paper designed specifically for pencil. You can't use wet media, so you wouldn't be able to wet it or use felt pens or anything. I've tried before, and the surface sort of shreds because it's not designed to ever be wetted. You can use a few pens for highlights and things and get away with it, a gel pen or a paint pen, but really you wouldn't want to use felt tip pens, water-based markers. I don't know about alcohol markers, but I wouldn't recommend it for this sort of paper. This is really specifically designed for pencil work. But let's get on and do some colouring. Hopefully you've had a chance to have a little look at the pictures. I can't tell if it's zoomed in enough for you to really see them, but what we've basically got is 6 small ones and one long, large, very pretty picture. I'm going to start with the first one and just move through. I may leave that one till last. It depends on how much time I get with my recording. As you all very well know by now, I'm sure I am having building work done in the house, so my recording time is slightly limited. I'm gonna lean this on something. Hang on, because it's I don't want it straight on my desk. That's not going to work very well. Never mind. No, I'm not going to. I'll just lean straight on the desk and see how we go. So I've got my Polychromos pencils. Just wanted something I could sharpen quite easily, and I'm just going to get started because I've talked and talked for too long. So I'm going to use my permanent green and do some of these bamboo leaves, and then just work from there really. I'm just going to put down a layer of colour to start with, and then I'm going to get a darker shade to just darken the areas that I want to be darker. So I'm really excited about Rita's new book. It isn't yet, as of today, recording right now this minute. Well, actually of me checking last night. I'm just going to sharpen that, it's a bit blunt. It wasn't available on Amazon at all, anywhere. On the US Amazon, Amazon.com, there isn't even a listing for this book, although Rita has put some pictures of it, the cover up, on her profile. And on UK Amazon you can see a listing for it, but you can't pre-order it. But I have managed to pre-order it from Book Depository, and I will put the link in the description for you if you want to order from there. They do ship. They ship worldwide for free, but they don't ship to every country. It sort of sounds a bit like a contradiction, but I know that there are people, some people say they don't ship to my country, so obviously they don't ship everywhere, but they just say free worldwide shipping, so I guess it depends where you live. It's worth having a little check, see whether they ship to you if you want to go with them. I know some people have had a few problems with them for various reasons with shipping, but I think we probably do with all. Chrome Oxide green. I'm going to do some darker bits. I'm going to actually do the base of each leaf a little bit darker. We all have had shipping problems from time to time, so you know, I don't know. I am an affiliate for Book Depository, as I am for Amazon, so I'm sure there might be other places to buy it, but I don't really know of them. And of course it would depend on where you are in the world, because you know we all have different sort of bookshops and online shops and offline shops and things like that, you know. And now I often buy my books in the UK from Waterstones, my colouring books, but they don't stock any Rita Berman books at all. So, you know, it's just depends on where you're shopping really. I'm going back to the permanent green just to tidy it up a little bit, just to make sure it's blended nicely really. I'm actually procrastinating because I can't remember what colour the bamboo stems are. So it's going to be a bit of guesswork coming along in a minute. If I had my tablet beside me, I could quickly, sneakily pause the video and look it up, but I haven't. So I'm just going to have to guess. I'm thinking this might work. I'm thinking maybe the Bistre. Bistre? I don't know. Let's try it. I know they can be quite yellowy, can't it? But I want it to be brown really. Like it's a tree trunk type thing. There's actually some bamboo outside in my neighbour's garden, but I can't quite see it from here. I bet there are different varieties and they're different colours. Now you can see I'm just putting down a really light layer, and then I don't want it to be too dark. I don't think it generally is. I'm trying to work out what's going on here. We've got this steam coming up, so I'm thinking I'm just going to ignore that bit at the minute. I'm going to go back to each little section and just darken some areas of each. So sort of top and bottom, I'm thinking. I'm not using a different colour because I just think it could be, I think it works fine with just one colour. Yeah, it's up to you really. I'm also sort of thinking about everything else. I haven't planned this at all, as usual. I just thought I'd just go for it. I'm just really excited to do the page and wanted to share it with you all you guys, and have some fun. And it's nice because anybody can download it and have a go, because it's a free download, unless you haven't got a printer, which I'm really sorry if you don't have a printer, but most of you can have a go. Now I'm colouring that a bit darker now. Under here, this is the sort of smoke. I'm thinking maybe I'll just do like a light bit, so it looks like it's being, and then a darker bit there, as if it's being covered with the smoke and faded a bit. I don't know, we'll see if it works later. Gosh, that was a clatter with my pencil, wasn't it? Right, I'm going to move on to the flame because I know what colour I'm going to do that, and so that'll be easy, and then we'll sort of move around the place really. So I've got my dark cadmium orange for the very bottom of my flame. I tend to do my flames so they're darker at the bottom and lighter up to the top. I don't know if that's really accurate or not, but you know, it seems to work for me and I like it. So now I have the cadmium orange. Oh, my desk is really shaky today. What's going on with it? And up a little bit, and then we'll go for the dark cadmium yellow. So this is a sort of orangey yellow. I tend to go back over what I've already done, and it just helps it to blend together and sort of look like it's all seamlessly moving from one colour to the next. I'm just going to use one last colour. I think I'll use this one. This is the cadmium yellow. Ah, that's better. You can see that better. Sorry. It's really hard for you to see. I will list all the colours in the description for you, but I know it's easier to have them to see it. Right. Now, what have we got? I'm just looking. I haven't really looked. So we've got a bowl and a utility holder, a kettle on top of a little stand. Let's do the kettle in sort of like silver, and then make this stand really colourful. I haven't thought about the candle. Maybe we'll do that silver, like one of those little what are they called? Tea lights. That's the word. Grey 5, cold grey. Cold grey is better for silver. So we'll do this and the kettle at the same time. So we use our darkest colour, and I'm going to use it on the edge. Sorry, I don't know where my voice has gone. I got really excited this morning about something which I can't share with you yet, but hopefully soon. mega excited. So might be to do with that. But anyway, I think I'm going to keep this base bit extra dark and then maybe this bit lighter because it looks like it's sort of in sections. So I'm going to go back over this edge to really make it dark and then pull that colour across a bit. And then not use this extra dark colour on the top half of the teapot. Kettle. It's like a kettle, isn't it? But we'll use a bit on the handle. Just the bottom, maybe in these gaps. Yeah, we had our plumber in this morning, but he's not here this afternoon, which is really good because it means I can record for you. This is my cold grey 4. He's very big. He suits the size of this mini picture though, doesn't he? And we'll just extend this colour down here a little bit. But tomorrow he's going to be in making a heck of a noise because our stop tap, which is where the mains water enters the house, is being moved. It has been moved before, but it's being moved again. He's got to drill a hole in the floor for a channel for the pipe, and it's concrete. So it's going to be a bit noisy. I'm going to do these little bumpy widges. I don't know what they are. Decorative arcs. With just this colour on all of them. So yeah, it's going to be mega noisy and mega dusty tomorrow. So that's going to be fun. It'll be alright. We'll cope. But it just means there'll be no recording going on. And as I didn't do any this morning because I wasn't sure how noisy he'd be, and actually I had to chat to him, I popped out, I did various bits and pieces. There's always something to do. So that was fine. Did I do those with this? I think I did. I can't remember. It won't hurt. I would if I was you. If you haven't, if I forgot. But yeah. Cold grey 2. Where's cold grey 3? We've done 4. We've done 5 and 4. Hang on. They're in the wrong order. I've confused myself. There's cold grey 3. Use that one next. We won't go too light because we want to leave, I'm going to make this my last one on this, so I'm going to leave a white bit in the middle to look like shine, so hopefully it looks a little metallic. I'm going to do the same on this one. I'm going to finish this one so it's basically the same colours as the tea light. I'm trying to make sure, see if I've got the middle. Is the middle there? Almost. I can't quite work it out. I'm just going to bring it gently in, just a light layer in the middle, so we've got a white shine bit. Oh, excuse me. And then we'll extend these bits a little bit. We could actually finish this too. Just extend it all the way and leave some shine. Yeah, I'm hoping to get this video up for you today, but really I need to make a few, so I've got a few for you, and then upload when it's going to be noisy. But I might run out of voice and then I'll have to start uploading. We'll see how it all goes. My son runs out of voice too when he's doing his videos. He does live streaming and he runs out of voice after a few hours. Okay, now we need the cold grey 2. We're just working through them all really, and it just gives us slightly lighter shades, which is useful. See, I don't know whether we're supposed to, it's a see-through teapot, and whether this is supposed to be the tea or whether it's the decoration on the pot. You could do it any way you want. I'm going to make this the last one though, so I'm bringing that colour in to the middle and just trying to leave a little white bit. Hopefully that works. You can do it brightly coloured if you'd rather do a sort of bright enamel type pot, then you know that's up to you. And then we've got these things here. This is like a brush type thing, and then we've got these two things. I don't know. Oh, of course you brush the tea, mix the tea with a brush, don't you, in the pot? Yes, that's right. So I think wondering if these two are metallic silver items or not. So I think I'm going to say they are, and use my Cold Grey 5 and do a little bit of work on those. Now I quite like, I'm just doing a bit on the underside of each as if where the shadow would be, and then go to the Cold Grey 4 and extend that a little bit like that. But I think I need to leave the shine down the middle, because if I leave it on the edge it might disappear into the background. I haven't quite decided what I'm doing yet for the background, so I'm going to go along the edge and leave the shine sort of down the middle, and just hope that sort of makes sense. I think it does. I don't know what colour to do the brush. Let's move on. I'm thinking maybe all this china could match, and obviously blue and white is where my brain's going first. If I do leave a lot of white, well, we're going to do a background, so I might be able to get away with it. Let's make a start. So I don't think that's the right colour. Hold on a minute. I'm thinking if it's all blue and white and it's supposed to match, maybe it should all be the same shade of blue, but then that's not very exciting. So we'll move it a bit. This is the Indanthrene blue, and I'm going to use that for these flowers. Or should I make the flowers white? Yeah, I'm going to make the flowers white and make the stand blue. And then we'll still have quite a lot of colour, but we can stick to our blue and white. Whereas if we kept this china white, it'd be a lot of white, wouldn't it? So what I'm trying to do here is put some more layers on the edge and less as we go in, so I can sort of fade the colour a little bit towards the centre. Down here you can see that where it's darker here than here. That's a little bit too much of a fade, want of a better word. I want a little bit more colour there, a bit more saturated, but just so it looks a little bit darker on that edge. And there we go. And the same here, a bit more here, and then less as we go in to the centre. Again, that's a bit too much. I shall have a little bit more colour. Now if you're not using Polychromos, you can use any brand of pencil. You don't have to worry about, you know, using exactly the same one. I know it's easier because then you know exactly which ones to pick if you wanted to look identical to mine. But you know, just there are all sorts of brands out there. As long as you've got a set with one blue, you can do this. You know, you don't need it to be this specific shade. Oh, I've got a funny story for you. I was walking back from town this morning, going by the canal path, and there was someone walking their dog. It's not unusual, often a lot of people walking their dogs. I only saw two today, but here I want to be a bit darker, so I'm going to put down a heavier layer. Now I think it might be a bit lighter here from the candle than down here, so I'm going to put another layer down there and fade that up like that. It's quite subtle, but I know it's there. So anyway, this little dog, it was a tiny dog. I've seen slightly smaller dogs, but it was probably about the size of a Chihuahua. I guess it might have been. It was short haired. I always associate Chihuahuas with long hair, but of course they don't always have long hair. So darker at each end and less towards the middle, just to give a little shine. I'm just going to go through this and just smooth out the pencil a little bit. So this little dog, it had such long legs and a teeny tiny body, and it was walking along and it was sort of staggering along. It looked like Bambi, like a little tiny deer on its wibbly long legs. It was so funny. I don't know what breed of dog it was, and perhaps I was a bit mean laughing, but it was, well, we didn't laugh until the dog owner was out of sight. It was so funny. Anyway, I haven't told my husband yet. Oh, my funny story. Right, I'm going to change shade of blue. I know I said maybe it would all match and we'd use the same shade, but they do look quite different types of items. So this pot here, I'm going to leave these squares white and do all the rest in blue. And I've picked this blue, this Cobalt Blue-Greenish. It says it's green, it's not, it's blue. I always think it's very blue, but you know, we're all slightly different in our opinions of blue and green, I think. My son was telling me about, there's one, in one country they don't have a word for certain colours. I think he said one of them, I can't remember now, it was really interesting. Saying, was it they don't have a word for blue? Or something. No, or green, they just call it blue, yellow, I can't remember. Anyway, it was interesting. He watches this linguistic person on YouTube, I don't know their name, and he comes out with these such interesting facts about the English language. So I'm doing this pot just like I did this piece here, so darker at each end and then a little bit lighter in the middle, and it gives the impression that we've got a sort of slight shine on our glaze, and that it helps the pot look more rounded. Our white areas I will be doing a bit of grey on, I think, later, but not now. Let's do them all together in a minute. We've got some steam coming out of this one, which we might treat in the same way as this steam, you know, with a slightly faded colour behind, rather than trying. We could put some white pencil on top. A prism or something would be good. I don't know if I've got one in here. I've got a Luminance. But let's worry about that later. I don't need to get too complex. Now, I could do a similar blue to the one I just did, but I think I'll do a lighter tone again. We'll go for the... Is that too close? I think that's okay, the cobalt blue. I'm just wondering if it's a bit too close, but I don't think it is. And we'll leave the dots as white. They look like they're raised dots as well, so that's going to be interesting. But yeah, my husband's home today. He's actually home from work, and I wasn't necessarily going to do any recording, and then this came out, and he's like, "You've got to go. It's okay." But he's having fun with the children because he's learning some maths for his job, and the children are studying maths, so they know a lot about it. So he's asking them for help, and it's really nice. So they're just having their maths thing, which is cool. And we went out without him this morning as well because he doesn't always want to go out. He likes to stay and do his art, and because the plumber was here, he likes to be here in case there's any questions. There's often questions. There were a lot of questions this morning. There's always questions about how we want different things done, which is, I mean, I don't know anything about plumbing, but it's like, you know, where do you want this? Do you want it here? Is that okay? Where's this going? Blah, blah, blah. You know, some things I know and some things I don't really. So, okay. Now I'm going to do this top of this pot like we did the other one, but I'm pressing a bit harder on purpose just to make it look slightly different. But because it's the same pencil, we know it's going to match, and we'll do the same at the bottom. I could leave every other one white, but because it's right at the bottom and we've got I'm going to leave this bit underneath white, I'm going to actually colour them all in because it might just look like a little bit odd, really. I'm trying to leave the white to line up with that. I haven't done a very good job, but never mind. Okay, sorry, I need a hanky and I haven't got one. Good, okay. Let's just carry on. So the brush, I'm thinking colour, would it be the same colour as the bamboo? I'm going to do it the same colour as the bamboo anyway, Bistre, just because I think it's nice to have a bit of colour tying across from one side of the page to the other, and I don't know what colour to do it, so it's just helped me make up my mind. So I'm just going over it roughly, and then I want to make it a little bit darker each side of that bit, because that bit looks like it's sticking out. And we'll emphasise some of these little bits in here as well. It just helps, and we take some lines down, it just helps make it look more brush-like. The handle of the brush, let's do this, but we'll make it darker. We'll grab a darker brown. What's this one? This is the burnt umber, and it needs a sharpen. Here we go, burnt umber, and we'll just add a bit on top. So I'll try and put more on the edges, bring it into the centre a bit just to make it look like it's a little bit rounded, which might help us. I really need a box of tissues in here. Oh, excuse me, it's disgusting, I'm sorry. Right, now I think we're at the point of doing a little bit of grey detailing on our white. So I'm using the Cold Grey 3, and I'm going to, because look at this pot here, we've done it darker on the edge, so I'm thinking this white flower might just need a little bit of grey to make it look a little bit darker and sort of just feed into that idea of shadow, just like that. These dots as well, like this, where it's darker, like that. I'm not sure about these, maybe a little bit at the bottom, because they might have shadows at the bottom of them. I'm just going to do it on the big ones, as the small ones are too little. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit of shadowing work. I'm going to use a dark blue, I think. This is the dark indigo. I think that's going to work. And what I'm going to do, oops, hang on. I'm just going to move my pencils because they're under my elbow. Right, a shadow under here. So we can see the shadow of this pot on that one. And I'm going to shadow this side as well. It would be a little odd if it threw a shadow on both sides, but I think it just helps to give it some depth. And under each of these, where we want them to look like they're standing out a little bit, put a bit of shadow under each. I'm only going to do the big ones. I may do the little ones, but I find that quite tricky. I think I'll just do a tiniest bit, like that. There we go. Now for our background colour, I'm thinking, I was going to do blue, but I don't think we should. It's too similar. I think a light pink might be nice, or maybe a couple of different pinks. How should we do this? Yeah, I'll pick 3 pinks. 3 pinks, different shades. Okay. So my darkest is the fuchsia, then the light purple pink, and then the pink madder lake, I think it is. I will double check for you in my book because it's sharpened so far down. I can't see it. Yeah. So we're going to start with the fuchsia, so that's the only one you need to worry about. So if you aren't using the polys, take your darkest pink. This, I would say they're all shades of Barbie pink. If you and I'm going to put down a hard layer over where these dots are that Rita's drawn us a few little dots in the corner to help us get going. And then lighten as we come out of the corner, like that. And the same on this corner. Now we won't want quite as much because we can't see so much of the corner because we've got our pretty leaves. Now remember, under the steam is going to be a bit lighter. So I've done a little bit there, but I'm going to try not to actually. I don't quite know what's going on with that steam, but we'll work it out. We'll get there. So fade that from the corner up. And this corner is just a little bit, isn't it? I had thought about doing a sort of random splodgy background. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that for that one. But because the corners have got these dots in, it just indicated to me that it might get lighter as we go towards the centre. This is the light purple pink. So it's our mid pink shade. And I'm going to go over the areas where I started to fade the other one. Cover it over and bring it further in. Okay. This corner's easy-ish. Put some under there. Like that, and bring it down towards the middle. We'll leave a little gap for the lighter one to come up towards the centre, like that. We can put a bit of this here too. Probably could do with a lighter one in parts of that. And now this bit coming up here. Would it go into there or go into here? Maybe a bit there. And we've got this one to do, so I'm going to go over this because it's not very neat. And then we've got under the steam, so a light I'm pressing really gently, but a bit darker under here, like that. The same here, so a little bit darker here, and very light through that area there where the steam is. I think we'll do that, colour that bit in lighter. Okay, I'm going to go in with my last one, which I do need to sharpen, even though it's so tiny. I think I've got another one. Yeah, I definitely have got another one. I'm not sure where it is, but I've got one. So this is Pink Madder Lake, and it's our lightest pink. So what we want to do is basically fill in any gaps that look like they're missing a bit of pink, and carry it on. Now here we need to make sure that the pink is dark enough so that we can see a difference between the pink that's under there and the pink that's here. Where you start and stop, it is sort of up to you really with regards to this smoky steam. It's steam, isn't it? It's not smoke. Now we've got some here as well. I'm going to do it all lightly and then work out. I think we want it a bit darker here and here. Now you can do other things with your steam to make it stand out. You could use a white pencil once you've done your background, and it will fade it. So rather than fading it by just doing a lighter layer, you can actually fade it with a pencil. Some white pencils are much better than others. I can do that bit light as well, a dark bit in here. A Polychromos pencil unfortunately isn't the best. A Prismacolor pencil, very good. A Caran Luminance pencil, also very good. I found one the other day in a set which worked really well as well, and I was really surprised, but I can't remember what it was. Whether it was the Arteza Expert, might have been. Just can't remember, I'm afraid. But some whites are just not good on white paper or on top of other pencil. I'm just trying to gently fade that a little bit because I want it to look like, you know, it's darker here than here, darker here at the edges, but I'm also just trying to tidy up a bit as I go. It's quite good to do backgrounds on these little ones because it's a really good way to increase your confidence with backgrounds, because when you've got a huge book, doing a background can be very daunting, but when you've got a little piece like this, it doesn't take that long, you know, so you can have a go, and it just helps you to get used to what sorts of things to do and how to do it really. So I think it's fun. It's a sort of nice opportunity. Of course there's no need to actually do one if you don't want to. If you're not up for it, don't. But it can be, as I say, a good way to practice doing it. Now let's have a little look. See, the steam, as I say, you could use a like a luminance pencil over it. This is this is titanium white, so this is yellowy, it's probably not the right one. Yeah, here's the luminance white. So you could use this Caran and just go over it, and it will help to fade it a bit more. And what it does is, because it will actually cover the black print as well. So if you look, if you press quite hard and put quite a good layer down, it covers that black print just a bit. I don't like covering over black lines personally that much. I've tried it, I wasn't keen. But it just fades them down, so it helps to emphasise the sort of steamy look, I think. But you could get your white, if you've got a white pen, and go over those lines in white so they really stand out. But I'm happy with it looking quite faded back, so I'm going to leave it there. So there is our very first little motif from Rita's lovely download. Thank you for watching. I am going to try and do one each day as a little bonus video for you. I can't promise that I'm going to be able to, but I really want to, but it just depends on the noise in my house. So I'll see what I can do for you, but keep looking out for them. Hopefully they will appear. But for now, thank you so much for watching. As I say, the link to the download is in the description, as well as a link to the book if you're thinking of ordering it. And that's me for today. So thank you and happy colouring.